This would be
that device. Okay. Oh shit, I see it on there. Okay, it's on there now. Okay, now I want to, mine's active. Okay. Now I want to add yours. Add the plus. Dang. You know what? We're gonna get you in here right now though. Watch this. Plus again, select Mac OS screen capture. Mac OS audio capture. Okay. You know what? I think this will be really good when it's all said and done. I can put different things on here and stuff. So, and this would be application audio capture. Application would be Google Chrome. Oh, good. Which Google Chrome is it though? I guess we're gonna just try one out. Nope. Oh, well, let's see if that's the right one. Say something, Uncle Joe.
Hello, hello.
There we go. All right, I need to turn this down a
Testing,
little bit then.
testing,
Now say something.
testing,
Say it again.
testing. 1, 2, 3, 4 people on. One of them might be me. No, they're not. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you had me, there's one more.
Hey, what's up, Laura? Laura said she can hear me,
Hey.
so that's good. I bet if she can hear me, she can hear you too.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Now I have to put things in the audio mixer. Good lesson. Nice.
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear me at all?
Oh,
either?
I'm hearing it.
Do you hear me or do you hear you?
I can't hear it now, too. Yeah. Uh-oh. We don't want to do that.
It's delayed by like 10 seconds probably or something, and I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing it.
Okay. All right, we're live. We are live. My dog is such a worry wart. He's over here like every time I make a sound, he's like, "What's going on, Dad?" Go to bed. To bed. I've got sound now. Heck yeah. All right. All right, we got a few people saying we got sound. Let's go with it. All right, we got sound. We are actually doing this time. All right, Uncle Joe, we're in it. We're in the game, baby. We are in. That is the wrong button. Minimize. Ew, where is the minimize button at? Get it out of there. You can't find it. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back and we're out of the way. I'm going to start recording right now because we didn't record. 30 minutes of warm-ups. So we got our stretching in. We bitched about AI and everything else. So let's start from the top. Hey, welcome, Uncle Joe. Welcome to the show. Kids that Serve Dads here today, and I'm excited because I got my Uncle Joe here. Oh my gosh, I was gonna call it Tupac. What's your pen name?
Chong Puak.
Chang Puak here, the author of the 7 spiritual laws of a joyful and happy life.
7 spiritual laws for a joyful life.
For a joyful life, yes.
Yeah.
I know it's always delayed a little bit, Nick. I don't know why, but 7 spiritual laws. And so we're on about a month ago. And we talked about it, and you said you dropped the price of the book down on Amazon to 99 cents. So how long is it 99 cents for?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I'm doing some other promotions and stuff that I'm using that as part of my promotion. So I'm just going to leave it there until who knows?
All right. Well,
No saying yet.
Yeah. I bought it when it was full price, but that's okay. So I think it's been a fantastic book, and I read through most of it, and I made an audiobook out of it for myself, and I listened to it, and a really fantastic book, and just the way that you go through the whole process of diving into the inner beingness that sets you up for the outer display and presentation of a joyful and happy life, and actually like living that. Go through, if you would, like let's talk about the three laws that are the inner laws, and then how they stack with each other to then give you the ability to step into the four outer laws.
Yeah, basically in the book I presented as presence, simplicity, and purpose
Yeah.
are the cause, and the effect of those are gratitude, harmony, joy, and what's the other one? Gratitude,
Happiness.
happiness. Yeah.
Sorry, team effort.
Happiness.
Oh God, I wrote them all down. I know I have it all in there.
Harmony, harmony.
Oh, harmony. That's right. That's right. I knew it started with an H. You're like, Zach, don't give me the answers. You're messing me up. Um, let's go with the three inner laws, because I want to talk about how, like, one of the big things that I talk about all the time with kids deserve dads and about being a good dad really is about presence and being present, being focused, letting all the things and the circumstances around your life go, and just being in the moment with your kids. How important is presence for you, and in relation to these laws? Where does it sit with you?
Well, that's the one I start out with. That's the very first one I talk about, and I kind of present them in the book. They all kind of build on each other,
Yeah,
and they all kind of have, they kind of work towards each other. How I presented them,
yeah,
and presence is the biggest one, because I mean, that's that's the first thing we have to be, is present. If we're not present, then anything else really doesn't matter, because that's why we're here in this physical form, is to be present. And with all the distractions in the world, with our cell phones, computer screens, AI, everything going on, and then all the politics and disturbances in the world, and I mean, all that stuff is distractions, and it's by design to keep you so you're not present, because
right,
that's how people are easily controlled. You want to control a population, just have them not be present. They
right.
don't know who they are, or why they're here, or they can't sit down and focus for 3.5 seconds. Then they're going to be super easy to control. you
Right,
know
right. That's why this video's already
and so
gone
that
too long. We've already passed the 7 second threshold of attention spans.
right. Right. Oh, and that's why that exists. That's exactly why that exists. People can't people have a hard time focusing anymore for that, and a lot of that is, people say, oh, it's ADD or ADHD, which is not. That's just a label that's put on things.
Hmm.
That's our natural survival instincts, or those
Right,
things.
100%.
Because if we sat down, and if you were out in the wild, and not in the civilized community,
Yeah,
and you focused on something for too long, you become food.
yeah,
You know,
100%.
so being the ADD thing, that's just a natural survival instinct. They just have put a label on that so they could, use pharmaceuticals on kids, and make more money. You
And sit them
know,
at desk longer. Yeah, let's get them to sit at his desk longer. We don't need recess. You know what they need? To sit still. Sit
yeah,
still and
right.
shut
Sit
up and
still,
just stop talking so much and run around. You got too much energy.
right?
We just want you to sit at that place. We want you to be able to sit at a computer for 10 hours straight every day. That's what we're training you for. And it's
Right.
I read a book one time about about like the hunter's way, and that like ADHD really is like I said, it's a survival mechanism in 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 the real world, because I feel like where we live right now in this like computerized technology age is kind of fake. Um, um, it's not really it's not it's not how humans have lived for millions and millions of years. It's like this one little blip of like abnormality in this moment, but that in the real world where you like you could get eaten by a tiger or a mountain lion, you have to be observant of all those things. You can't just be solely focused on the deer you're chasing, but that you have to be in the recognition of everything in and around you, and be able to make those judgment calls in a split second of like, do I get this rabbit right now, or do I go after that deer that's still running, or like, and making those split second choices based on a calculation in your head. And ADHD like
Right.
does that stuff, and you get the podunky kind of person who sits there and needs to go super slow and sit at a computer and do all those things. They get their food, like you said, and so it's
Yeah,
a it's a
I
it's
had
a natural thing.
I had a terror experience like that. Well, it wasn't quite terror, but it kind of was in my head. I was scuba diving off of North Carolina, and I saw a big sea turtle. And I started chasing it, and the visibility was maybe 20 feet, maybe 25 feet. And I kind of went away from my dive partner a little bit. And here I am chasing the sea turtle as fast as I can. And then all of a sudden I realized it's like, wait a minute, what likes to eat the sea turtle? Tiger sharks. What's all around here? Tiger sharks.
Right,
And they see me chasing its food.
right.
That might become a very bad situation. So it's like the video was so important of this turtle at the moment, but you know,
Yeah,
I didn't get,
right.
if I'd have just stuck in there, I might have been food. Who knows?
Right. I got my buddy out there by himself. I'm out by myself. I got the sea turtle,
Right?
tiger shark bait just hanging out, and you swim way less gracefully than a sweet turtle. I'm sure. So,
Oh man, they as fast as you can swim, and they just go like this. You can't keep up with them.
yeah, no, we were
So
Elijah and I were snorkeling in Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and we saw some green turtles. And man, they
Mhm.
just move so gracefully, and they look like they're all on land they're super slow, and they look like these like lazy, unskilled beasts. But then when they get in their water, man, they just soar. It's just like in Finding Nemo, just like
Yeah.
we're just cruising, man. So presence is one of the big ones, and I think that's one of the things that I think most of these dads that I have that are um, going through a lot of like pain of like wanting to be present and being so focused on being with their kids that they can't be present in the things they have going on outside of that time. And then when they're with them, they're distracted by like the missing out and the sadness and the hurt of the time missing, and they're not fully connected with their kids in that moment either. How do you choose into being present in the moment, like, and shift that and switch that on? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. I explained that how to do that in the book very
Yeah.
well.
I know you do. Tell me, how do you do it? Like, I mean, it's one section and stuff, but I think that's one of the most important things that a lot of these guys can like go in there. And there's 7 laws, right? And there's a lot to each of these 7 laws. And so that
Right.
give
Yep.
a little taste of the goodness. So
Yeah, the presence is a thing that you have to go through just the things like you were just saying, where someone's sad that they're not with their kid because when they're not with them, and then when we're with them, they're distracted by their phone ringing or social media or business happenings and stuff, and then, so they're not at that point they're not present for their kid, and then their kid leaves, and then they're like, oh, I really miss my kid. And it's like, well, when you were with them, you weren't being present.
mhm.
So those are things that you just have to realize from experience. It's not something you can just turn on and all of a sudden, hey, I'm present. Is you got to realize from experience, being
Mhm.
mindful in everything you do. All these laws, none of these laws matter if you're not mindful to begin with. You
Yeah.
know, so and I talk about that throughout the book, being mindful in the things that you do.
Yeah.
You know, I have a knee injury that I should have surgery on, but I don't, and I don't get surgery, and I hike around and do all kinds of things, risking getting injured again. But the thing is I have to be mindful every single step that I take so I don't get that injury, and
Yeah.
that in itself has kind of changed my whole attitude and everything towards all this, because I mean, I had to be mindful in every step, because the moment that I'm not mindful and my turn to the right, my medial collateral ligament that's torn will, that part of my knee fails, and my knee will twist a little bit, and then I got to wear a knee brace for 3 or 4 days,
Right.
you know. And luckily, that's all that it's come to, and it hasn't been worse than that. But it's from that experience that I have to be present. I have to be present in every step that I take. You know, when I'm working in USA and I'm away from my family here in Thailand, you know, that makes me, when I'm here, I'm way more present when I'm here. And it's the same thing when I'm there. When I'm there in USA, when I go to Albuquerque, first place I go is my daughter's house, so I can hang out with her and her kids, because I miss them, and I just stay there, and I try not to work or do too much while I'm there and let them sleep me, because I want to be present for them in that moment, because I might go there and be there for a week and a half before I move on to the next thing I have to go do. And so it's like, what's the most important thing to me? Is my business? Well, my business is pretty important, because that's how I get to do everything. But what's really important to me, well, when I go there, I go and I hang out with my grandkids. And I be with them. When I'm here, if I see my wife get up and do something, I get up and help her. And I try and spend every moment I can with everybody that I really care about. When I'm with them, I be as present as I possibly can, because when I'm not with them, I miss them, just like you were saying.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And like,
so it's through that awareness of missing out, and it might be things that somebody has to meditate on to think about when they're not in that situation, to be present. It's like, wow, I wish I wouldn't have been on my phone. I wish I wouldn't have been scrolling through social media while my kid was here. If I sat out there and I come here to Thailand, I don't know how long I'm going to stay here till the next thing comes up. I will. If I sat here on social media all the time, or was doing something else, what would my wife think about that? What would she think about that? So that really brings me on to being present, being
yeah.
present in the moment.
Sorry, my dog was like making noise like he was gonna like pee himself. He been walking around, going to the door and sniffing. I'm like, oh god, piss in my house. We're gonna have a problem. I'll be not following any of the laws.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's just so being present is so important, and I tell people all the time. One of the things that I talk about so often, I think, hits on what you're talking about, is being in those moments. Like, you spend so much time, especially in our world. Like, you get every other weekend if you're a non-custodial parent, and so you have 10 days you don't get to see them. And so you go all this time and you're doing all these things all by yourself. Then you get them, and I have so many guys that talk about how the weekend goes by and they've spent like the last like couple months and they haven't really done anything. They hang around the house, they do some cleaning, they do some laundry, they watch some TV, and they like don't do anything really together. And so then, like, after a few years, the kids don't want to hang out. Um,
yeah,
and it would be one second. And so I tell these guys all the time, to get their stuff, like to make a plan. Spend some time during the week before you get them, thinking about what it is you want to do and how you want to connect with your kids, and visualizing what it's like to be in that moment. And then when the weekend comes, being prepared and doing what it takes to live that life with your kids and have those experiences. And so many people are like, like, I'm talking like voodoo stuff, but it's just being organized and really thinking about what it is you want. And if you want to have that relationship with your kids, you gotta make choices early and often to set yourself up so you can actually have that life. And if you don't do that stuff, you won't. It's just it doesn't just happen by happenstance. And I think a lot of people would really think that, oh, if I just, it would just happen, right? But it doesn't just happen. It really is like a real. Oh shoot, that was the button I was wanting to push. There you go. It really is a real thing that you have to like prepare for, and that's just being present and mindful, like in those moments and stuff. And most of these guys go through this stuff and they're not being present because they're so stressed by all these circumstances. And then when the moments come where they can really make an impact for what they really want, they're so distracted by all the noise around them. Um, and so like being quiet, I think that's part of when you're inner ones also, right? Is just being like letting go of all that energy, right? That all that noise of the world.
Right. Yes, that would be simplicity.
Simplicity. Yeah.
Is letting go of all that. You know,
Yeah.
because how complicated is all this social media stuff? What have you been doing all day? You know what I mean? You're trying to simplify. You're trying to simplify that whole process. For yourself. So that's exactly what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. And like, I want to do all this stuff. I want to put all this information. I am full of information. But if I just got it out there, I would be spending all day every day just like typing stuff on social media. And I know that that's not the life I want to live either. Like I would like to share, but I don't want to share at the expense of like my only life is sharing, you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
how do I maintain and do all those things? Like I worked out today and I walked my dog today. And if I just did all these posts, I wouldn't have the time to do those things, and and that's really where the joy and the presence is at. And so, um,
Right.
uh, and so
You know, and
that's good.
I missed out.
Go
I
ahead.
missed out a lot on being present with my kids growing up because I was busy making movies. I was making all these big movies. I was working for Marvel,
Right.
Cowboys and Aliens, Avengers.
Yeah, I do
Iron
remember
Man
those.
3, and all those movies I worked on, Thor, and all those things. That was like so time consuming in my life that, we'd go work 16, 17 hours a day. You start Monday morning at 5 in the morning, and by Friday you have to switch to starting at 7 or 8 at night because of, they got to give you enough time to go home and sleep for 8 hours,
Right.
and, and a lot of times we didn't get that. So I wasn't present for my kids at all because
Right.
I just was never there, you know,
Yeah.
and it just hurt my marriage, hurt my relationship, and it's been a struggle with my kids off and on throughout those years because I thought I was doing the best thing for everybody, making money, doing these movies that were just fantastic things to do, working all the time that just didn't have time for them. Then it comes to the weekend, you get off of work at 8 o'clock Saturday morning. What am I doing? I got to sleep all day, right? Because I'm worn out from the whole week. By the time I wake up and get going, they're going to bed. So there's another day gone, and then I basically have one day a week, that I would have to do everything that I couldn't do during the week because I was so busy working.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that was big struggle. I know through doing that work, but then. When you're in between movies, well, now you got a month off, and 2 months off, or 3 months off, or maybe you don't know how many months you have off,
Right.
and so those are the times when then I would struggle to try and do something else so I wouldn't have to go and do these movies all the time,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And then that was my time to look, I gotta be present. I gotta be present for my kids now because if I get another show, which I need to get another show so I can keep paying all my bills and feeding my family. Well, until I get another show, I better be present for my kids because it might be 6, 8 weeks, 12 weeks or more that I'll be out on a show, and if I'm in town or not, I'll get to come home and at least see them for a couple minutes every day. And it was worse than basically just having custody every other weekend. That would have been easier. You know what I mean? It would have been easier because yeah, I got to see him, but I was never there.
Right. Yeah. Sleeping in that kind of stuff. I got a question about like yeah, what would you do differently for yourself and for your kids, like knowing what you know now and how you've stepped into these laws and implement them in your life. is there something you would do differently that you think would have made a difference back then in how you raised him and your satisfaction from it?
Well, there probably could have been a lot of things I did differently, but you know, I'm glad I didn't do anything differently because then I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So that's I wouldn't have maybe had the insight to write this book and to do these things that I'm doing now to share this, what to share my life experience with other people, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here in Thailand. Last weekend, I was monks at this temple ceremony in Chiang Rai, you know, and I may not have that opportunity because that opportunity became because of, going on a surf trip to Indonesia with Joey, my oldest son.
Yeah.
I spent a month over there, and that's how I finally ended up over here. And without having these experiences over here that I've had, some mind-blowing experiences with some people that are energy workers and stuff over here that have really changed my life. And if I wouldn't have that information to share with people, I would still be in the, you know, working and not working, working and not working, and not sharing these things with other people.
Right. It's so important to share them too. Like, I mean, once you get something and get these tools, I think one of the big things that I've been reading about, the book I'm reading right now, I finished your book, but I'm reading The Intentional Father. I'm almost done with this one too. But he talks about inside of here, and something that I've really wanted to have for a while and that I've been working towards is having a community of guys um, that pass down stuff, that are actively looking to be engaged with younger generations and their kids especially, but that other friends of theirs kids, other people's kids, and mentoring them and guiding them, where I feel like that's something that's been lost over the generations, especially the most recent couple generations, that we don't have mentorships and guidance, that people are out there just like solely focused on themselves. There's this societal viewpoint on like needing to only look out for me. It's all about me. Whereas like where you're talking about where you're from, it's about giving, right? Like the being open and giving and supporting. That brings people peace and joy and harmony, and there I get that connection. But we're all this like I gotta like keep everybody away and keep them down so I can have more. And
Right, right.
I don't know if that really made it. That wasn't a very good question, but
Well, but no, but it brings up we talked about the namjai,
right,
which is the giving from your heart,
yeah,
and people over here do that more than I see in the United States. And my wife is a big one at that, and sometimes it's difficult because she's always so giving, but you have to understand that that's the same thing in a different form. Like this morning, we walked to the store to buy the guys that are working some treats. They're
yeah,
here working. We're paying money to be here working, but we still go buy them treats, and then so they're happy. They're just like, oh, you guys treat us so good. And it's like, well, it's because we appreciate, we have gratitude for you being here, doing the work that you're doing. You're doing good work on our house. This is where we live, so we have to be grateful for that because it's not like, I mean, I used to do construction, and man, there's people, they were not grateful that you were there at all, you know, and it's nice to be able to be a part of that here doing that. Just the opposite of what I experienced when I was doing construction back in the days. So,
yeah. And looking out for people, right? I mean, like helping people out to get through their stuff, and take care of the life that they want to have. And like you said, we talked about that guy earlier, or other guys you have working for you, but like they have like a hole in the ground for their water, right? And like they probably buy bottled water or import water in, but they're taking baths from like water that comes from the ground.
right, not filtered, they just stick the bucket down there, and I don't think they have electricity even. They just, that's just, they survive off that. They have a little house and some land with some fruit trees and a motorcycle and a hole in the ground for their water.
Right.
And they just, every time I see them, they're happy and smiling, and it's almost you look and it's like It's just like going to your neighbor's house that has a lot of things. We have what we need. We have everything here. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have so much, right? And with so much, it complicates our lives. We have like all these subscriptions and all these toys and things going on, and so every month you got all these things coming out of your account, and you got to go and pay for all these different things. You got to keep track of all this stuff and keep things organized, and it clogs up your life. And one of the things you talked about is your experience of like as you've moved to Thailand and live half your time there and only come back for movies, you're living out of a bag half your life, right? Or more. I mean,
yeah.
you have your stuff there, but like you're a lot living out of your bag. How has that impacted you in your life going through that experience? And what's something that you've gleaned by living out of a bag and having everything you need in one?
When a lot of that, comes down to really understanding simplicity, because when I go from here to work or visiting family, I can carry I can carry 100 pounds of stuff plus what I can fit in a backpack. And if I go there, sometimes I might be there for several months. So it's just like, what do I really need? What are the things that are really essential for me to have? Because this is all I can take. And it's not like I can just take 100 pounds of stuff for me. It's usually one suitcase for me and one suitcase of the people here wanting me to take stuff over there for the people there, and vice versa. And your mom's a good example like that. I had to buy another suitcase when I was at Josh's, because I was planning on traveling with just my suitcase with just my personal stuff and my backpack and just a few small items. And then your mom comes down to visit me, and next thing you know, I have to get another suitcase because she has all this stuff that she wants me to bring over for Oi and CJ and
Right.
Melissa. So
I don't doubt that one bit. Oh, I got all these things. Oh, do they really need all those things? Whatever, mom. Deb, thanks.
yeah, so I mean, it's really that's really honed down what's really important to me, because I had to let go of a lot of things. When
Yeah.
I can't take everything. I can't take everything that I would like to have with me all the time, and I can't necessarily have those things in two places all the time, because like when I'm when I'm here, I'm usually just at this house most of the time on this property. But when I'm in USA, my house I'll be at for a couple of weeks, maybe the whole year, and then Kayla's house I'll be there for a few weeks, and then who knows where I'll be on a show somewhere, or maybe I'll be out in Oregon at Joey's house out there, which is a whole other thing, because then there's a whole nother place for me to be, and so I have to accumulate a little bit of things here and there that I can't take with me all the time, but that basically comes down to what do I have that I absolutely have to have to continue with what I'm doing. My computer, a couple flashlights, my phone, chargers, that type of thing. It's like those things are what I'm working with every day. Those are the things I have to have for sure. What else do I need? Well, clothes. I gotta, I have basically I take the clothes that I wear when I travel, and I have to have my other clothes at these other places, because I can't. There's no way to take everything. So it's really simplified what my life in the form of what I actually need every day. You know, when I was growing up, the principal of my school, when I graduated 8th grade, he gave everybody little trophies with a little saying on it. And mine was gadget, because I always had gadgets. I always had things. I always had things that I had. And I'm
Oh, you,
still
you
that way.
you were like the original fidget spinner,
Yeah, yeah.
huh?
And, and now it's just like I think about that all the time, because I'm still that way. I got my suitcase. All right, I got this little space. I can take a couple more pounds. What things can I take with me? And
Right. What can I
so if
fit
I got
inside
to
of this
take
thing?
yeah, got to take the things that are really important, and then who knows? But they can't be too important, because anything I take, I could lose while I'm traveling. Suitcase gets lost. Well, then what? I can't have half my life in the suitcase. So, so there's a whole nother element to your question there.
Right.
It
Right.
basically comes down to my backpack, because that's what I can carry with me when I
Right.
go places. So,
I mean, Elijah and I travel a little bit and stuff, and I've been teaching him about packing his bags, right? And I'm like, when you pack a bag, like you need a pair of underwear and a pair of socks and to have inside of your bag, because if your bag gets lost, you might need a change of clothes and you may not have time to do it. So you want to make sure you always have like these minimal amount of things on you all the time. And yeah, it takes a
Right.
little bit of space in your bag, but then also if your bag gets lost, which has happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to most people who travel, more than a couple times, um, it happens. And when that happens, if you don't have any clothes, you're gonna be in a tough spot where it might take them a day or two to get you your bags. And so um, I've been teaching them those little habits and stuff, and it's important to be able to like maximize that little bit of space when you travel. And it's a good practice, I think, especially. So, um,
Yeah,
Deb
and a lot of
Martin
times,
asked, "Do you think you're missing out on things because of your job, or missing out? Might be missing the giving people in the U.S. because of your job?
might miss what now?
Do you think you might be missing the giving people in the U.S. because of your job?" I don't know what she's necessarily referencing, but it was directed to you. So I think it's on YouTube. So you probably, if you're looking on Facebook, you can't see it.
Ah, okay.
I should have got this set up so you could. There's a way for me to actually set this up so you can share this also. But you know what?
Well, let me see.
The next
Let me go to
time,
YouTube so I can read it.
embed and stream. Oh, I could do that. And Twitch stream. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Let me search. It's not letting me search here. What's going on?
I know it's a ton of ice storm. I know you guys have ice storm. Oh, my sound is way down. I did turn my sound down. I was trying to get it to sound the same, mine and Uncle Joe's. they're
Oh,
uh,
here it is.
they're coming through. Both of our sounds are coming through a little bit different, but I think they're coming through now. They're coming through at the same level. But I was trying to correct it and stuff.
All right, I'm there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where
Yeah, so it's just
is.
talking about just like, do you think that you might be missing the giving people in the U.S. because of your job? And I asked that was related to you, because
That I'm missing the giving people?
yeah,
Wish I could find it so I could see it.
yeah,
Um, I don't know why I can't find the live stream on your. It's on Kids Deserve Dads, right?
yeah, the Kids Are Dad's page.
How come I can't see it? Oh,
I
here
don't
it is
know.
live. Let me get there. Maybe if I read it, I can understand it better. Let's
And
see. Here it is. Here you go. I'm there. It's loading. It's loading. Where's the question?
Let's see.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely because of my job. Heck yeah.
Yeah,
But that's why I started writing and creating, doing stuff that way, so I don't have to be stuck in Oklahoma or southern New Mexico or some strange place to where I'm traveling away from everybody.
right.
It's different if I went to Albuquerque and was working and could be around my family in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
That would be different. But I go there and I end up someplace else with just a couple of my buddies on a job working and not around anybody.
yeah,
Not around anyone. So I mean, yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely that for sure.
But a lot of people make those kind of jobs. I mean, there's a lot of jobs, and they pay good, right? When you're out there working, you make good money, and so
Right.
there's a lot of benefit to it. But then you miss out on a lot of opportunities to be in that connection. But that's where like being really focused on your connection, like you said, like you might be back for a month, and so in that month, like how much can you make that impactful, right? And you might miss out
Right.
on 2 months of time but then you get that 1 month, and like, how do you actually use that time to make the most connection and benefit as you possibly can with your family?
Right. And it's tough because it's like those are things you really can't really even plan for. Like for instance, when I over just before Christmas, I was planning on being back here in Thailand, like right before Christmas or just maybe the day after Christmas or something. And I thought I was going to have a week off before so I could spend a few days up at Josh's, visit with your mom
Yeah.
and visit with Kayla and stuff before I left. And then comes up, this other movie calls up and says they need me and my crew and equipment to come save their movie because they lost half their team. And next thing you know, I'm finishing that job, driving from Oklahoma to Albuquerque, leaving the next morning to go to Josh's to spend two and a half days basically before I had to leave to come here
Right.
because of all that happening, and I had to squeeze everything in. I had to go visit with Josh and his kids, and luckily your mom was able to drive down because there's no way I could have got up to see her otherwise.
Right.
So she was able to come down, and we spent some time together and had a great time and
Yeah, you
drove
guys got a
around
couple
and
trips to Walmart.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So places
Yeah, I
I'd
think
never been before.
right. Got to go to so good of a Walmart. I had to go back. the
No, it was the Container Store. We went to the Container Store, and
oh,
I
twice.
probably would have never been in a Container Store,
Was it good? Just a
your
bunch of
mom's
like
like, "Oh, I haven't
storage
been here."
containers, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they had all kinds of stuff in there, but
Okay.
mostly container stuff. But, yeah.
Yeah. Tupperware and things. I've never been to a container store either. I don't know that I will, but I never have. So, but I think
I did miss C's though. We should have gone to C's. I don't know if there's a C's near Josh's, but I did
uh
miss going to. I did miss going to C's Candy with your moms because we usually hit C's Candy somewhere along the way.
I say you got to go. There's one like in Thornton, I think, or Loveland area, and then there's one like in Aurora, I think, or something like that. So, or maybe there used to be one in Aurora. Maybe it closed down. I have no idea. I don't go very often. You know when I used to go with my mom.
Yeah.
So I usually hit up C's Candy. When my dad was around, I would go with my dad too. My dad liked to go because they had the caramel chocolates, which I mean, if you're gonna buy a whole box of caramel chocolates, Dad, I'll help you eat those. So,
Yeah, right.
team player. But yeah, I think that stuff is so important. So, what do you think? What do you think is something that with with the outward expression of the laws and stuff? Then, like the harmony, the joy. How do people going through hard times release all of that turmoil and stress and really dive into and like accept, surrender to those experiences and accept and be in joy and harmony in their life? Or how do you
Well,
do it?
that's
I
with
guess because it's everybody's got to do it their own way. But how have you done that to be successful?
right. Well, just really focusing on your purpose is a big thing, and that's not an easy thing because what you think you or what you want your purpose to be and what you think your purpose is may not be what your purpose is,
Mm,
and you have
that's
to
so true.
be open-minded and just what's the word I'm looking for? You have to accept acceptance.
Right.
You have to have acceptance and all these things. Yeah, all these things I'm doing right now are not necessarily the things that I had planned, but other things happened, and I could fight those and be upset about those. But if I did that, then I would not only lose my purpose, but I also wouldn't be present.
Right.
You know, we had 7 years ago, we had my wife's permanent visa for the United States. We were on our way to the United States, and at the airport, we had something turn us back.
Right.
And now 7 years later, we still don't have her visa. We had her visa in our hands. We had the
Right.
plane tickets, and 7 years later, now we still don't have it.
Yeah.
And now we're not really pursuing it because just the things in the world have stopped us from doing it.
Right. I don't
And
blame it.
not
Thailand sounds like a
necessarily.
lot more friendly place than America does right now.
It's just the things, the decisions other people are making are stopping us from doing things, and
Yeah.
I could sit and be upset about it. And I mean, there's definitely times I lose sleep over it. But if I was just sat here and was upset about it, that's
Yeah.
not going to solve the problem.
Damn right. You
You
gotta
know,
have
it's just
action,
going to
right?
cause other problems. It's going to distract from me being present.
Yeah.
It's going to distract from me having my purpose. And if we really were pushing to trying to get it, it would complicate our lives past the point of simplicity that we want to have.
Right.
You know,
100%.
it would, and and so we have to just accept what has happened and where we are, and be joyful for what we have and grateful for what we have, and live in that harmony, you know, and just be as compassionate as we can, everybody, because you know, it can't be everywhere all the time. I would love to be with my daughter every single day. I'd love to be with my wife every single day. I'd love to be with you and your mom every single day.
Right.
But those things can't happen. There's physical distances in between, and you know, how do you make the most of all that? Is you got to be present where you're at, and be grateful. You know, be grateful for that
Yeah.
in the moment, because you know, if you don't, you lose out on everything.
Yeah.
You know.
100%. And I think, especially when I was going through the real hard times of my fight and stuff, I actually remember sitting there. Funny you talk about like letting go of this kind of and stepping into your purpose, right? I had a really great real estate career and I was doing really good. And I just felt called to do all this stuff to fight for my son. And I had to sell a couple rental properties. Basically, all my investments, everything that I had built up, and I was like, I don't want to do all this stuff. And my mom and I were talking, and I was on the phone, and I was upset. And I was like, man, I'm just distraught by like I'm getting rid of everything. I'm having to do all these things that I don't want to do, and all I want to do is be a dad. And I don't know why this is so hard. And then it just the whole universe just kept pushing me into this spot, um, and messing it up where I um, I had to keep stepping into it, and it just kept pushing me that direction to make that happen. Your audio got kind of funky at the end there for some reason. I don't think it's I didn't touch it, but
Yeah, it was probably my internet here.
that's what I'm thinking too, because it was randomly like all of a sudden you just like lost half your audio, and I have it cranked up, but it's not recognizing it. So, anyways,
It must have gone the other way around the world. It's a little bit farther if you go the other way around.
right, did the satellites have moved now? It's on this other far. We got to double beam it, so it's losing half its power. But yeah, I don't know how to make it any louder than it is right now. But I think that it's just really powerful to just stay focused on those things and be in those moments. Really being focused on when you have the chance to do the things that are important, recognizing that opportunity and this being in it in that moment. Um, and it's something that I've put a real big focus on. But I also had Elijah pretty late. And a lot of people have. Uh, it does sound like he switched to a different microphone. I agree, but I don't think he switched anything, and I didn't touch nothing. So Thailand, it's what happens in Thailand. You know what? It works sometimes, and it works differently sometimes, and that's just the way it goes. So, but I think the book is really impactful, and I really enjoyed it. And I think what we've talked about today is how these seven spiritual laws of joy and harmony and happiness. And I know I got the title all fucked up, but I was close. Uh, that these seven laws are instrumental in like overcoming. That if you're going through hard times, if you're struggling through the experience and not finding joy and happiness and peace in your life, that by choosing into these things and 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 taking on the challenge of these laws, that this will give you the tools to go through it and overcome, and then be that person, because it's a conscious choice in every moment, right? To like choose in right now and then keep going towards that future that you want, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily choosing it. I think these are things that are you're already living in and experiencing these things.
Right.
Basically, how
how I present it in the book is that these things are. You hear me? Okay?
No, it's
No.
terrible. It's terrible. It's almost not even there.
Oh, no.
I mean, I can hear you a little bit, but it's very faint.
Yeah. Well, basically, these are things that are part of your life every day, and basically in the book I explain how to pull them out and realize how to work with them,
Yeah.
realize how to develop them. People go through life saying, "Oh, I wish I could be grateful like that person." Well, you can be. You just, and it's not just, "Oh, well, I'm going to go give somebody some money so I feel grateful."
Right.
That's not necessarily how it works, And
Right.
that I just try and present it in my book that these are things that you already are experiencing every day, and by just being mindful and aware of a couple things, you can really help develop these things to the level that you want to. Whether you're not a spiritual person and don't know anything, or if you are, I've had people who I think some of the most spiritual people I know that have told me that there's things in my book that have helped them with their meditation, helped them realize things here and there. There's somebody I know that he goes to meditation outings all over the world, and he's written to me and said that, how grateful he was for the information in my book because it's helped him realize a couple things, how to stay present,
You're
and
back.
how to stay present more in his. Am I back?
Nah, for a second. One word was
Yeah.
back. I think those are really powerful things, right? Because so many people need to have that support, and like I know that I needed it, and the book is really fantastic because you break it down really well, and just that there's these you know it's a I mean it's a practice, right? You're gonna have to do it all the time, and sometimes you're gonna do it well, and sometimes you're not. But it's about like recognizing it, and then just keep choosing into doing it, and seeing where it's at in your life, and then going towards that experience, right? Like if you want to be present, like you know, you got to catch yourself when you're not being present as soon as you can, and then choose to be present, and then it'll get easier and faster, and you'll have less of those problems, right? But
Right. And I have exercises in every chapter for every law. I
yeah,
have exercises to things that you can do to help develop these in your life. And then I also have a section on challenges that you might come up against. Like you said, hey, I was with my kid last weekend and I wasn't present for him. You know, so I have challenges in there. It's like, okay, these are challenges that you may experience when you're trying to develop. Trying to go through these exercises and trying to develop this as being something that you're more aware of in your life, because these things are all in your life. It's just you noticing them,
right,
noticing them and acting on them. So
right, right. No, I think it's just it's so important. I think a lot of people want like an easy, simple answer, and what you're gonna find in there's just no easy, simple answers. It's something that it might be easy and simple for the people like you see these monks, right? Because they've been doing it their whole lives, so it looks easy, but it's been a
it,
practice
it
that they've
appears,
yeah, right.
yeah,
It's easy for them because they've done it for forever. Um, and so you have to start where you're at and give yourself grace in the experience, and continue to keep moving even when it's not easy, because over time with the practice of this it will become easy, and you will have that presence, and you will have that harmony and joy, and a lot of it comes from just surrendering and not trying to like control and dictate everything that happens, and you don't have control over circumstances around you. All you have control over is your reactions to them.
right. And it's the book. I don't make it like a dogmatic type of experience to learn these things. It's just like I said, it's things that are already in your life, and they're already present in your life, and you're already going through them every day. It's just little by little chipping away at different exercises, different things for you to remember when you're doing stuff. Take a couple breaths here and there, and if you feel yourself getting upset, and so just many exercises, and throughout the whole book that some people say, oh, I'm way beyond that in my meditation or that. Well, then great, then that section is not for you, but the next one might be.
Right.
you know
Right.
there might just, it's not necessarily, hey, this is what you do all these things and you'll have gratitude. Well, then no, is there exercises. You do these things to develop and understand how you get to the point of having harmony, how you get
Right.
to be compassionate. you know Maybe I've seen busy people, with the work I do. I've seen a lot of busy people that just, they have no compassion at all,
Yeah.
because they're too busy with everything else, and they'll even admit it. I'm just, they'll apologize afterwards. I'm just so busy that, I had, I'm sorry I was rude like that, because I'm so busy, so many things on my mind. It's like, well, that's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to get across, is that these are things that you have to realize, because you're the one carrying that weight. Thanks, baby.
I'm posting the book link and stuff. So book link is on there. The last two ones I did it twice on accident, but um, the book is Seven Spiritual Laws for a joyful and happy life.
Joyful life.
A joyful life. Man, I don't know why I keep adding happy. There's a difference between joy and happiness, right? So maybe that'd
Yeah.
be a different call we can do one day. You and I can talk about joy and happiness because they are two different things. Do you think they're different?
Yeah, they're different for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossovers, but they are different for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people like mistake them for me. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. And you can't always be happy. Like you're gonna be sad. You're gonna have all the feelings and stuff, but you can find joy in all the experiences, and even when it
That's true.
sucks, you know, even when it
It's
sucks.
true.
And
Yeah, the joy in being grateful. I mean, there might be times when you feel like, man, I wish none of this was happening. If you're in a very bad situation, you still got to be grateful that you're experiencing this.
right,
You know,
yeah,
and if you want to have a joyful life, if you're not grateful, then you're probably not going to have a joyful life.
right,
If you're not in harmony with things, you're not going to have a joyful life. If you're not compassionate about things, you're not going to have a joyful life. And if you don't have a purpose and presence, and your life's too complicated for all of that, well, then, you're not going to have a joyful life.
right. I talked to a lot of people about the idea like you gotta just you gotta embrace this. Like this is like the test for your life in that this is probably one of the worst things you're going to go through, but that when you go through this experience you're going to have all the skills of how you survive this, and then you'll be able to handle so much more, and everything will feel like way less by being in this spot, but you have to go through it, and it's about
Right.
how you handle it and move through it that gives you that joy, and it can take as long as you want it to take, and
Right.
it could be super fast, right? Like you can move through the whole experience in a matter of moments, or you could drag it out for years and years, and you could be tortured for the rest of
And
your life.
2 nights ago, I just outlined my next book, and there's a lot of the words that you're saying are in my outline.
All right, yeah, dude, it's like a great book. I can't wait to read that one either. That's truth, though, right? Like it's like you
Yeah.
have that opportunity to make those choices and be in that thing, but going through it makes such a big difference. And some people are like, well, I don't want to be in this spot. Like I didn't want to go through all this child custody stuff. I didn't want to sell all my crap. I didn't want to feel a bunch of pain, but I chose to be in pain. I chose to be hurt by this experience. I could have just let it go, but by being deep in that and feeling that, like it's allowed me to connect with so many more people and step into this possibility now of serving this community and making this bigger difference in this world that I never would have done anything like this if it had been super
Exactly.
easy. If I would have gotten shared parenting from day one, I would still be a realtor in Cheyenne, and platinum real estate would be huge, and I wouldn't be doing anything like this because my real estate career was banging, and I was making tons of money and having a bunch of fun, and it was going to continue. Um, and are there things that I miss about it? Yeah, but man, I love being here. Like I get phone calls. A couple guys around here are going through problems, and I said send me a DM. And I talked to two dads today. I talked to a dad. I talked to a couple dads almost every single day about what they're going through and help them work through some of the situations. And it's a gift and a blessing to have had so much pain and difficulty in that experience, so I can relate with everybody else.
Right.
That I can like sit with them in those feelings, and I can empathize because I've been there. Like I can feel that moment of their experience with them, and give them that space to like be complete.
Hmm.
So
See,
it's
that's your purpose and presence. That's developed your gratitude and your compassion.
right, right. It is, yeah, yeah, right. And like and being in that fire, man, like yeah, and that's why I started the group, the Forge and stuff. It's because like, man, you got to go through that. You have to be in that fire, like, and it's that fire that shapes you, right? It's that hard pressure that builds you into who you're meant to be. And some people shrink in it, right? And they melt away, and they become
Hmm.
NPCs, or people like get formed and they get hard, and then they come back and they're tougher than they ever were. Um, and what I want for everybody going through this is to be the latter, right? To be the one that goes through the fire and goes through the pain and the turmoil and comes out quickly, faster than I did. I want you guys all to be faster than me, and and comes out of it stronger and better than they ever have been in their whole entire lives. So
Right.
that's my dream, and I think your book really helps. It really helps shape that kind of stuff. I've been thinking about how I can like leverage your book to like make the my Forge book that I've been working on, and because I was like, man, there's so many good things inside of here that like fit with a lot of the stuff that I talk about all the time. So, what up, Chuck D? My friends on here. I got all kinds of friends on here. What's up? Much love, brother. We got a bunch of people staying up really late because like we got somebody from like Ohio on here. We got people from Virginia on here. He's over there. He's living in the communist state of Virginia, so or soon to be. Yeah, Tennessee. We got Tennessee up in the house. Mostly everybody's further east, which is kind of funny because it's like I was thinking being midnight they'd be asleep right
Yeah.
now at 12:30, but nope, they're partying over there on the East Coast. So 12:30 on a Monday or Sunday night, get it. But yeah, I think so. But the book, I put the link in there for the book. And I'm gonna put it up there one more time and stuff. The link for the book is it's if you get the Kindle version, it's 99 cents right now until my uncle decides to raise it. So don't sleep on this thing. Go get it for 99 cents, right? Like it's gonna go back up
Yeah.
again one day.
Yeah, it's going to go back up. I reduced it because right now, more important than money is I need to get reviews,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I would continue to give it away for free, but Amazon won't let me. I get 5 days every 3 months that I can give it away for free. So
Okay.
there will be 3 more days that the ebook will be free sometime in the future, but it's going to be around some other promotion that I do. But right now, the promotion I'm doing is I reduced it to 99 cents so I could get more people to review it. Last show we did, we had 45 people download the book,
Yeah.
and I just if those 45 people, if half of them gave reviews, that would be the most awesome thing ever.
Right.
But it's like, what if these 45 people downloaded it? Where's my reviews? Come on, somebody put something up there for me.
Write something. 4 or 5 stars and write something. So nothing less. If you
Yeah.
if you got if you're gonna give a bad review, save it for yourself. All right. No one wants to see that. But go on there and get the book. It's 99 cents. It's a hell of a good book. And you will not be sad you spent the 99 cents. And like he was saying that there's tools in each chapter, and it's a path to go through to find joy in your life and to live in harmony and really get the experience from this chance that you're destined to have. And you can choose to like squander it and just ride out and see what like life gives you, or you can make the choices to do the things that put you in a spot where you have amazing outcomes and amazing like satisfaction at the end. And we're all going to get to an end. It's just what is it going to look like? How are you going to look back on it and be like, man, did I waste that life or did I live all out?
Right.
Did I go skydiving and all that stuff that Tim McGraw sings about? That's the question. I did. I've gone skydiving. I'll probably do it again too. So, have you gone skydiving, Uncle Joe? You've gone skydiving.
Nope, never.
You never have, really? I'm surprised, man. I don't think you'd be a skydiver. I think if you would have gone skydiving, you'd be a skydiver.
I was the pilot of the airplane, not the skydiver.
Right? I'm gonna fly you idiots around and let you guys jump out the back.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah,
total
I got my
control.
instrument ready so I can fly through the clouds and at night. And
Yeah, I think skydiving's a lot of fun. It's one of those moments like, well, flying a plane and stuff. I mean, really everything you do is like it could be the last moment. Um, but like I think in a lot of things in life you have like some semblance of like control that you can maybe stop something, right? And like when you jump out of a plane, like if that chute doesn't open, there's no stopping you hitting that ground. Like it is like there's you jump out and there's like one thing. And that's it. So it's like I get this one chance, and then it's gone. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna get ready to go to bed here because it is like 10:30, and I'm gonna be up at 4:45 because at 5:30 in the morning, Mountain Standard Time, we do coffee calls. So if you're in the school community, which I suggest everybody joins the school community, I posted it above a couple times. It says school on it, school.com, not the link for my uncle's book, which I'm posting again right now, but the school.com link. That is every morning at 5:30 a.m. and I do it almost 7 days a week. I probably do it 6 days a week on most weeks, maybe 6 or 7 almost every week. And we plan out our days, we plan out our lives. Like today, I'm working on building an app to do it on, so it won't be all on spreadsheets. But like today I was doing it on paper, so I did it on paper today, and I got all this stuff done. But like writing down my stuff in the morning time and hanging out and planning out the qualities that are going to serve me and how it's going to work. When I write these things out, it works like this way more than when I just like haphazardly go through the experience. And we talk about how you can use that, that focus and that intention to design your life for the day, the week, and then also the rest of your life. So, you sick freak writing stuff down. You got to have it on there, right? That's like it's where it's at. So we work on that.
Yeah.
I'm making an app though. So like all this stuff like this, I'm having it in an app. And when my app comes out, Uncle Joe, you're gonna freaking love that thing. It's gonna be incredible. So it's I've worked on it like 4 or 5 times, and I'm getting to the point where it's ready to go. So, but how would you jump out of a perfectly good plane? The thrill of it all.
Yep.
So, the book's 99 cents. The paperback version is $9.99, and you definitely can go buy the paperback also. In fact, you should go buy the paperback and go buy the Kindle version, so you can have them both. And just give one review though, so it doesn't hit the algorithm all funky. And talk about what you got out of it. I think there's a lot of good stuff inside of here, and it'll bring value to your life, and only going to make you better by reading this book. So, and we should do it again. So, how can people find you besides the link that I put up for your book?
Peakpotentialpublishing.com.
Okay.
That's the website for the publishing company, and they're not it's a Thai Life on YouTube.
Peak Potential Publishing. I'm gonna put a www on that thing. And it's a Thai Life. Let's see. youtube.com. youtube.com/it's a Thai life. There we go. That's how you get to it. All right. All the different spots where you can find them and connect. And there's some cool videos on It's Thai Life. You've done some really interesting stuff out there. And I think one of the funnest things that I really enjoy is when you go to the markets. Because, you know, we go to markets in America, everything's in like Ziploc bags and plastic and stuff, you know. There are no flies anywhere. And then you go to your market and it's a whole different fucking ballgame, right? Like it's a Wild West out there in Thailand.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. One of my wife's rules when we go to the market is if you're buying a meal, you have to buy two different things. So like you might find something that you think you're going to eat. We'll buy that. We'll buy something else also because you may not be eating that.
Right. That might not
You
be
know,
good.
but you getting a meal for 80 cents, so you can afford to buy two of them. You know,
All right. I know
and
it's
say, hey,
crazy.
sometimes you hit it and they're both good. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. And sometimes you're like, what the hell is that? Like, I'm not going back to that guy. He's not making my food next time. So
I love going to the markets. It's one of my favorite things to go see all the people and the things that they're making and stuff. But man, there's not very many things that I purchase,
I
especially pre-cooked things or things
yeah.
that they're cooking. They're not, there's a lot of fried food, and I don't eat seed oils and all that. And then they're using the cheapest oil they can buy at the store, and other stuff just not. And you can see in some of my videos, I've tried some things. I've tried
I've
some. If you look at some of the Thai
I've
Life
watched some of your
videos.
videos. There's some wild stuff on there that I'm like I've been to markets in Europe, and open markets in Europe are a thing, and from America, like it's it's different, you know? Like there's like heads and stuff and like
Yeah,
skinned animals. Like there's a baby lamb just like skinned up on a freaking like the head's not skinned and like the feet aren't skinned, but the body's skinned already, and there's a baby lamb
right.
just hanging, and
Well,
then
that's
but
how you
then
show it's fresh.
yeah, you're right. You know it's fresh. You guys don't even have lambs out there, right? Because they already killed all the animals off. It's just vegetables.
Already eating all those. They don't reproduce.
Ah, we lost your audio again.
Oh no.
Man. Thailand. Let's end it on that. Let's go. Let's do it again. Um, I'm gonna get out of here, but Uncle Joe, thank you for coming on again and working with me and playing around with the AI. But dude, it guided me through getting this set up. And when you came on, it was a cluster. And now we have a show. So
Yeah,
um,
we had fun.
it was a good time again. Yeah, we'll do it again. I'll send you some of these videos and stuff too. I'm gonna chop them up, and then let's get together and plan another one. But if you're out there and you enjoyed the show, buy the book, 99 cents right now, um, and buy the paperback and take these things in and really get the message from them. There's a lot of value inside of there and a lot of opportunities to grow and find the joy and happiness in your life that you need, so that you're craving. So, thanks, Uncle Joe. I appreciate it.